My name is Olufade S. Babatunde. I am an education officer at the Ogun State Universal Basic Education Board under the Department of Education Quality Assurance. I want to welcome you all to Series 1 of these basic statutory school records. And the reason for this piece is to remind ourselves about the essential features of the statutory records and how to regularly keep them updated. So I want to believe as an education officer, either at the state level or the AGA level, or even as school administrators, you are going to find this piece helpful. In this series 1, we are going to be talking about school admission progress and withdrawal register. But before we go into this, let's remind ourselves about this definition of term, that is statutory records. What are statutory records? Like we know, statutory records are those records that are mandatory, or we say they are compulsory under the law to be kept by each school. So as such, they are expected to be kept by all schools. So what are we talking about? Statutory records, it's a must record to be kept by school because they are recognized by law. So a school without statutory records is not a school. Let's consider some of the features of statutory records. We have about basic features, 4 of them. Simplicity. So number 1 feature, like we said, is simplicity. Statutory records has to be simple. It must not be too complicated to be understood. It must be error-free. To a greater extent, we must try as much as possible to minimize the usage of correcting fluid. It is not a document to be battered or painted with correcting fluids. Number 2, it must be detailed. Statutory records must contain detailed information, despite the fact that we said it has to be simple. Yet, the information herein must be detailed information because most often than not, the writer of the information now, that is the school management that is documenting the information currently, most often than not will not be the one to interpret the information when the information is needed. Number 3, accessibility. So statutory records must be within reach whenever it is being sought after. So what we are actually saying, the accessibility must be within reach. Number 4, preserved for future use. Yes, this is another important feature of statutory records. Statutory records must be preserved for future use, and that is what we are talking about, that keeping it. So the information you are writing today might be needed in the next 20, 30, 40 years. So you must be able to keep it, and whenever it is needed, it is easily retrieved. And having said that, let's quickly go to what we are actually treating in this series 1, and that is the admission progress and withdrawal register. What is admission progress and withdrawal register? As the name implies, it's a statutory record that shows the list of learners admitted into the school at a particular time. It also shows the progression of learners on a yearly basis and record of those that exist from a particular school from time to time, with the reason for doing so. So the reason why learners exist will be documented in this register. Now, let's have a look at the admission progress and withdrawal register and how we can fill. The first column is that of admission number. In some other admission register, you have serial number. So all we just put is 1, 2, 3, and it continues. But in our own case here, we are having the first column being admission number. So you insert the learner's admission number, exact admission number. For example, it could be 102. So if the admission number is 102, you put 102, and the next learner will definitely be 103, followed by 104, and it continues in that order. So admission number is a unique number that is peculiar to an individual learner. So it should not be shared with other learners. So it is not a number that 2, 3 learners could share. Unfortunately, in some of our admission registers we have come across in school, we see learners sharing same admission number. No, it is not supposed to be. So let us desist from doing this. And occasionally we discover that the reason for that is probably they want to substitute a name in the admission number. They will see them tipexing a name. On no account should we tipex a name on admission number. Even if the learner is not forthcoming again, the only thing we can put is on the withdrawal, which we are still going to talk about. You indicate that the learner is no longer in school, so you don't need to tipex at all, let alone replacing a learner's name on the admission and progress withdrawal register. So having said that, you go to date of admission, you put the exact day, like 01/02/2023. You put the exact date, and you come to the section of the name of your learner. You put the name of your learner, surname first, like Olufade. You put the first name, Shino, and other name, any other name, Babatunde. So you put the sex, male, date of birth. Now under this section, let me also state here that the only thing that could validate or authenticate the date of birth parent tells us is this document, birth certificate. So we have to request for birth certificate. Oh, somebody is saying they don't have the document, they will never bring it. It is because we have not make it a requirement. That is why our parents are not bringing it. If you make it a requirement, they get to school here, they require it without before being admitted. They get to school B, it is another essential requirement. You see that they will definitely learn how to get the birth certificate. So let us always demand for it, particularly for new entrant learners, and it will also help that child to have gotten that document at a point in time. There are, individual that doesn't have this document, probably because it was skipped at the point of entry when they get to primary schools, and you could have done that favor for such learner even in the nearest future of assisting him or her to get that essential document. So it is now the date of birth on the admission, on the birth certificate, that you insert here, like 01/04/2009, and you come to the next column, that is the parent or guardian's name and address. So the column here, you can see it is not that spacious, so you could write it in 2 lines, like Mr. and Mrs. Olufade SB, number 5, Ajibola Estate, Olorunshogo, Abeokuta. So, and haven't feel that you come to religion, and under the religion you put either Christianity or Islam, not Christian or Islamic. No, Christianity or Islam. And we have seen a situation whereby on our admission register we see this kind of abbreviation, Christianity. No, there is nothing like this. Please let us desist from it. And again, probably the following learners, after this column also have the same religion. You don't need to put dash. No, there is nothing like dash. No abbreviation whatsoever on our admission register. Whatever we are writing should be written in full. So, having said that, last school attended, if any. So, if peradventure I joined the school in primary 2, definitely I must have attended primary 1 in my former school. So, you put the name of my former school, last class passed. That should be primary 1. You put primary 1. Now, the class you actually admitted me into, that is primary 2. Let's come to the progression here. And under the progression, primary one, I didn't attend primary one in the school, so that column will be left vacant. I started with primary two, so my primary two will now be 2023-2024 academic session under primary two. Definitely by 2024-2025, all things being equal, if I am certified by my class teacher worthy of promotion, then I should be in primary three, and my progression continues like that. Now, let's now cite this instance. Maybe when I get to primary five, something happened and I needed to relocate and I couldn't attend the school again. You understand? So my progression will cease at that primary five, and after a while, if the head teacher observed that I was not forthcoming, and importantly, let me tell us this, it should be after the completion of the session. So it should not be done within the course of the session. After the completion of that academic year, maybe 2024, 2023, 2024, when I probably in primary 4 or 5, for example. So you now discover I'm no longer coming. You are certain, you call my parents and it is being established I'm not coming. You can now put absconded here. And the age at which I absconded, probably 11 years old, you put 11. The last class, primary 4, you insert here. And remarks, you might put relocation if you know anything about the reason for my abscondment, and the head teacher signs here. So the document is not that a difficult one to fill. Unfortunately, if you get to like 10 out of our schools, hardly will you find one that is not defaulting in the aspect of admission, filling of admission register or updating it. So once again, I want to appreciate every one of us for your time. In case you have any inquiry or question, you can WhatsApp me on 00391 333 83. I will be glad to receive your comment. Thank you very much.